Everybody, and welcome to the Tuesday Night Music Show. We've got like a core group here tonight. We've got Eric, we've got Jay via Manhattan.
That's why I'm wearing shades, because I'm too cool for this. I really am.
Way too cool.
I'm just way too cool. I'm in a 25 square foot box and I'm too cool. Sun never sets on me.
And we've got Mr. Boston John. And as always, at the top of the show, let's go ahead and first of all acknowledge our sponsor, who is DJ Event Planner. Thank you for sponsoring the show. More information about them and other sponsors in the description of this video on YouTube. And
we appreciate it.
Let's do Boston John's record roundup. What do you got for
Road
us?
Dog. What? Okay, there we go.
Road Dog. It's getting a little thirsty.
Yeah. All right.
I've got probably.
I love these fruity canned drinks. I don't understand why the bars that I go to don't have them. Private joke.
Yeah, you had to be there.
You had to
be there.
Trust me, you had to. The third guy came in with no shirt on. That was you had to be there to figure it out. Go ahead, John. Sorry to interrupt.
Oh, no worries. No worries. Great stories. We're going to start with the biggest hit. The biggest hit from this gentleman, whose real name is Stanley Burrell. Stanley Burrell.
I know who it is.
You know who it is?
And
he will tell you can't touch this.
Yeah.
Otherwise known as MC Hammer from 1990. This is a 45 RPM dual single. So I've got Can't Touch This on one side and Dancing Machine on the flip.
Which I never played, by the way.
I like Pray.
Pray is good. Too Legit to Quit is good.
Yep. Pray's a great track. I don't know what the sample is.
Oh, there were a lot of tracks off the first album that were good. Have You Seen Her was on there.
Yeah, Have You Seen Her? Very Temptation
was on there.
Yeah.
So this is probably the big one. He did well for a minute. He unfortunately filed for bankruptcy in '96, I think.
Not a financial advisor, I think.
No, not doesn't do well with money.
Well, he had
just apparently you can't buy this.
Yeah, he did. Okay, you're making 10 grand a month. You're spending 30. That's a problem.
Yeah,
quite a large entourage, and those giant hammer pants, I'm sure, cost a few bucks. So charted the big single. Obviously, it's got the sample from Super Freak, which now is in so many songs that you can put a nice little party mix together. But don't sleep on MC Hammer. He's the pick of the week. You can't touch this. 1990.
Right on. Back to the old days. I can't remember what all was on that album. There were several songs on Please Hammer Don't Hurt 'Em that I played.
Yep.
There were several, and I can't recall what they all were. You Can't Touch This. Have You Seen Her?
I might have it up still.
And This Mother Out was on the first album, right?
Yes. It was not on that. Pray was on that.
Bumps and a Bump.
Dance Machine, Can't Touch This. Pray. Here Comes the Hammer.
Here Comes the Hammer was actually played.
Oh, just super upbeat, dancey, happy stuff. So so much so that Ice Cube mentioned him in one of his songs, saying,
it was the rap
television
crossover.
Dancing around like a fool.
The rap crossover thing, it was a little between him and Vanilla Ice. There was a lot of oversaturation, and I think people kind of turned their nose up to it. And that's when you got like NWA coming in. Hey, we're real rappers, and now here we are today with hip hop.
Yeah, which is terrible.
Doing family movies,
right.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Are we there yet?
Being interviewed on the kids' channel. I'm just saying.
Right. Yeah. Ice Cube on Nickelodeon.
Ice Cube. Hey, everybody. Here's my friend Barney.
You have something for us this week, Eric?
I do. I got a compilation album that's been going on for years and years. First one I think released was November 1983. Now that's what I call music.
Yes, sir.
Now I believe there's over 88 of them, maybe. And plus they had different. Yeah. Well,
the British nows are in the hundreds.
Yeah.
They didn't start the U.S. nows until like the late 80s, I don't think.
Okay.
Or no, late 90s or maybe early 2000s.
I was going to say late 90s because I bought, now that's what I call country and I still use it. And I bought that in like 97, 98.
Yeah.
Are you talking about the very first Now That's What I Call Music? Is that what we're talking about today?
Yeah, that was a dual record set. I get that.
It was. Yeah, and this one had hits like
first song on it. You Can't Hurry Love, Phil Collins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just something I should know. Duran was on there.
Red Wine.
Yeah.
40 Down Under, Men at Work, I think was on there. Stepping Out, Joe Jackson, another great
Fantastic
hit.
track.
I love that one. Sweet Dreams, Eurythmics, and a whole bunch. It was a dual album. I'm still standing up when John was on there. But they come out with so many, and my favorite on this one was Give It Up by KC and the
KC,
Sunshine Band.
yeah.
Yeah, what did I say?
KC and the Sunshine Band. I think that
Right,
one was just
that
credited
was-
as KC.
Right. It was
I
just
think.
KC. It was.
Yeah.
I think so too. But on the album list, it says and the Sunshine Band, but I don't think they were involved in it. But anyway,
Yeah.
that's one of my all-time favorites by KC. I think I love that, Give It Up song. But they come out with a whole bunch of different compilations, not just now, but now this is disco, now this is country, now this is workout. They made a fortune with and they're still going, which is kind of why I brought it up tonight. I just think, you remember I had the K-Tels, they died out, they're gone.
Love those K-Tel Ronco album stuff. They were awesome.
Yeah. Best way to get a whole bunch
But
of good
any
stuff in
now,
one place. Yeah.
Yeah, now it's a
any
different vibe.
just starting out, we want all those nows. I think everyone.
I have a massive collection
Yeah.
of the Now CDs.
Yeah.
When they started releasing them on CDs, I think I've got Now 8. That's like one of the earliest ones I have. Now 4 is very rare, but it's out there on CD somewhere. But I have 8, and that's a pretty early one. I've got some low teen stuff, and everything from like the high teens all the way through probably the 70s. I've got, and they're all double CDs. I think I've got Now 8 on LP behind me, from of course the UK. And yeah, all doubles. The American ones were single discs, but the UK ones were doubles and very complete. They also had a Now Dance series that was fantastic. If you're not familiar with that, do check it out.
Yeah.
And I think it's worth mentioning, I had this conversation about Walmart tonight with somebody about how back in the day, everyone thought Walmart didn't want to sell CDs that weren't edited.
Mm-hmm.
And then people woke up and said, wait, I can sell my CD at every store that's unedited. And then the edited one I can sell at Walmart. That was one of the driving forces when I took over the boats, was to buy the Now series because they were edited.
Yeah.
So I knew if I bought it and it had a rap track on it that would have normally had swears, this one wouldn't, and I could use it on yachts. So that's another thing I think is worth mentioning. These were clean edits.
Yeah.
It's
And it
almost
was a
like
good
a promo
source
only.
back in the
Right.
day. Yeah, it was a good source of music.
Right. Yeah.
When we didn't have the internet, we didn't have a million places to go.
Yeah. Good
Excellent
point.
pick, Eric.
Yeah.
The Now series, the UK and the US.
Yes.
100%.
I don't think I own one US one, but I own a lot of the UK ones.
Well, then maybe you ought to go there. Maybe you ought to
Well,
just give it
every
up,
time I
'cause I'm
went, I
just
would
saying,
buy more.
We buy red, white, and blue, babe. Not red and white.
Oh,
Just saying.
they're better. And what's really cool about that?
Oh,
Well, no, the reason I say that is because the stuff that's on the Nows here, it's stuff but when you go over there and you get a Now, there's stuff on there you don't know. And you're like, wow, what is this? That's how I discovered a lot of music.
Yeah.
Was listening to the Nows from England.
Oh,
Like
that's a
samplers
great-
of all the good stuff. And there's like 40 tracks on each, one, and they came out like 4 or 5 times a year. Wow.
Yeah.
It's a lot of music to discover.
It really is. Yeah.
Or lesser known tracks from bands. You have some other stuff that we were playing here. It's like, who knew that Spandau Ballet had 5 other songs that were popular in the UK?
What do you mean Spandau Ballet's greatest hits? They had one song.
They got one
Yeah.
song. They have True. Isn't that it?
No, and gold. And then it was like, oh, no, wait, there's 17 other ones that charted.
Right.
Not
Brian
here.
and I have had this conversation for hours on end where it's like, Haircut 100, they weren't a big band. No, they sold at Wembley. Wait, with what? They only had the one song. No, they had a whole list of tracks.
Played it over and over and over for.
You
I
want
think
to have
the-
fun? Mention Nick Kershaw to somebody that's in their 40s from England, and they ramble about everything. I'm like, are we eventually going to talk about Wouldn't It Be
Wouldn't it
Good?
be good?
That's the only song I
The
know.
one song we know.
Not even on the radar.
It's a
Madness
great
is
song.
the
that-
same way.
Oh, no, that's not the song we like. We like these 75 songs. I'm like, they had 75 songs?
Yeah. Like Madness is like that too. There's
Oh, yeah.
like
Madness had 2 songs in my book. There's 2 songs I've ever played from Madness.
House of Fun and Our House.
Our house.
That's it.
I was thinking about the houses. Yeah.
Yeah,
All right,
they're some sort of architectural music.
Yeah.
Before we move on, how about Split Ends? I Got You. Was there anything else by them?
Scrappa. I bet a ton of stuff.
You know what? But Split
Probably,
Ends
yeah.
grew into Crowded House, so that's okay. Because
Okay.
the brothers Collins, I think, were their last name, were Split Ends, and then Crowded House came out of it.
And they're Kiwi.
Crowded House became huge.
Not off
Split Ends had like 2 hits. I Got You, and then another one I can't remember off the top of my head. But
I thought, the only one I remember is I Got You.
yeah, which is a great song.
I love that song. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great song.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't realize Crowded House was the aftermath of that band when the brothers said, screw it, let's break up.
I never knew that. Wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's the 2 brothers were in Split Ends together, and then whatever the brother's name is that went to form the trio of Crowded House, he broke off. The other brother kind of disappeared from music. Sad.
Interesting.
So what do you got, Jay? What do you got?
Well, you know, Brian, I'm in the city where I belong. I grew up in Boston, which is a city. And if I had walked as much in Boston, I would have actually ended up in Connecticut, because New York's a little different. So I'm going to give you something that I think all of you will enjoy. I'm going to give you NYC Underground Party Volume 2.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
And
another.
you say, wait, what's this? Let's go through the tracks. Let's start with Sanctuary by Johnny Vicious, 21st Century Boy by Y2K, Soul Shaker by Jan Driver.
Yeah.
Now you say, but I don't think I know these songs. You actually would if you heard them.
Soul Shaker.
Veronica, I'm in Love, the Johnny Vicious club mix. Armin van Helden, You Don't Know Me.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, you guys know that one.
Oh, yeah.
Bad Boy Joe, New York City Underground Mega Mix 2. Tim Rex, Relentless and Relentless Original Mix. And Shannon, Give Me Tonight 2000, the Jonathan Peter remix.
Interesting.
I just thought since I'm here, I would try to pay a little respect to the city that I'm sort of kind of from, that I have family from here and stuff. And I've been coming here all my life. I'm from Boston, and I've never had that
close
hate
enough,
the
right?
Yankee stuff. Well, no, because I had family that lived in the city. My sisters lived here for 25 years.
Sure.
My cousins have been in Queens since the 50s. So I came here like it was a place to visit. I never thought of it as another world, you know? And I'm absolutely beside myself, excited and thrilled to walk around. If you've never been to New York City, just come here and walk around. Brian will tell you.
Oh, yeah.
It's a world in itself. You stand at any street corner and you look around and you realize I'm seeing like 1,000 people that have nothing in common, that are all working together to get the same thing accomplished. I love this
Everybody
place. I really
is
do.
moving, and they're moving fast out there. It's like
believe
it's
it.
like this. If you're watching,
Hey,
Yeah.
walk in here.
it's a fast moving city, boy. They all got
I-
Never sleeps.
I walked more yesterday, Eric, than I've ever walked. I walked over 31,000 steps, which translates to about, I think, 14 miles. I walked yesterday, and it is mind blowing. Today I walked 9.5 miles. I mean, what do you do with that? I mean,
break it up to a sweat, which is
15.9 miles yesterday, and today was mild, 9.6. I mean, I've pretty much done a marathon in 2 days, which with a Truly can in one hand and a vape in the other is an accomplishment. I should have a medal.
No, I love going to New York City. My view of it, and this is just my personal view, it's kind of like Vegas, where it's cool for 2 or 3 days. That's fun zone New York City for me. Longer than that, I don't know. I might start to see some things I don't dig.
Well,
But it's kind of like Vegas in that regard. You don't want to go to Vegas for 2 weeks. You want to go to Vegas for a few days, and it's fun.
yeah, but Vegas, you stop a lot. I notice here you don't. Like I've seen, thanks to your thoughts on this, because you're the one that inspired it. Yesterday, part of my tour from going to 9/11 was, oh, wait, that's Canal Street. Oh, Brian mentioned you should go see Jeffrey. And I did.
Yeah.
Seeing Jeffrey got me to go see Alfred and
Right.
Edgar today on a rooftop bar on 5th and 27th.
If you've got people in town, it's different.
It's
You know?
different. If I was
Yeah.
completely alone, like Sunday, thank God I got to hang out with my youngest sister from like 11 o'clock till like 8 o'clock at night. It was awesome. I'm having
Right.
dinner with her tomorrow night. I
Yeah.
leave here Thursday.
It's very different stuff.
And it's just, but it's a mind thing when you go from my little town where I've lived for 20 years, and then you come back to this hustle and bustle and sirens and lights and smoke, and everyone's got that attitude, but you can tell they're all doing something.
hmm
Like where I live, no one is doing anything. They're just kind of there. Here it feels like everybody's on a mission.
It's true. They are all on a mission.
Yeah.
Really. Wall Street, you know.
I mean, I looked at, I probably passed 1,000 firefighters yesterday in uniform down at the 9/11 memorial. There's police everywhere. There's people everywhere. There's, people are taking photos of this. They're putting flowers here. It was real, it was real touching. I mean, it's one of those things where this is not a city. It's its own planet. It's its own world. I can go get some Pakistani food or vegan or Italian or a drink, or in my case, wander into a gay bar within 2 blocks of where I'm staying.
Right.
I take my white cane and I just go down the sidewalk. It senses a
Manhattan
senses a
guy.
seltzer. Whoosh.
I've done a little exploration of
roads.
Brooklyn via car, not
Yeah.
walking around, just driving around. I've seen things like Coney Island, and went to the place
Yeah.
where John Travolta got a slice of pizza, and all that. I've done that. The Warriors come out and play stuff.
Yep.
I've done a little bit of Queens. Never, went to Bronx by mistake one time. Got back on the train and came back downtown.
That's the title of a great article. That would be a great New Yorker article. I went to the Bronx one time by mistake. Brian S. Red. Wouldn't it? That would be a fucking great title. By the way,
I'm sure it's fine, but I wasn't trying to go to South Bronx. So
if you're following me on Instagram at DJ Brannan, BRANNAN, tomorrow you will see photos from 2 iconic locations, in my opinion. One of them will be 96 and 98 St. Mark's Street. I'll give you a hint. When I take the video of the outside of this area, 2 apartment buildings, the music that I will put on my reel will be the song Kashmir from Led Zeppelin. Maybe you know where I'm going.
perhaps.
And then after that, I will take a photo of a place called, or a video, 84 King Street, where I consider it all began. And Brian immediately knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Got no idea what you're talking about.
84 King Street.
Nothing.
I'll give you a hint. It used to be a garage.
Oh, okay.
That one.
Okay. Yeah.
But this is the stuff I want to go see. That's what's like
Right.
going to Paradise Garage, going to the 2 apartment buildings that are the cover of Led Zeppelin Physical Graffiti.
Mhm.
That's the stuff I'm excited about, And everyone's like, why would you go there? I'm like, because I can. Like, how cool is that? I get to stand outside of Paradise Garage.
Well, I was kind of thinking about
But it's music driven.
Mhm.
I mean, I'm going to 2 iconic music venue sites. I, of course, will give respect to the Bowery and go to John Veritas, aka CBGB's.
I was kind of thinking of you today, in a roundabout sort of way. Well, I was thinking of you, but
I was at a leather bar. Okay, fine. I admit it. I don't know why everyone has to hound me about this. Oh, you were thinking about me. I'm sorry. I missed
well, no, I was, and I was inspired to pick a track,
from
and I
Aerosmith.
picked a track. I didn't pick an album, and I'll just show you right away what I picked, and I'll tell you a little bit about it that I know off the top of my head. That I just checked Wikipedia to make sure the top of my head was correct, and it was. It would be Madonna, "Justify My Love."
Oh, great song.
It's fantastic from
Love
1990. She released her first real greatest hits. There was a remix album called You Can Dance, but her real greatest hits was released with a lot of different remixes on it in 1990 called the Immaculate Collection. This was the lead single off of it. So this was brand new
Yep.
for that.
Public Enemy.
There was another brand new song in there called Rescue Me, but this was the big one. And I'll just say this. there was a run from the first time I heard Holiday to Justify My Love where Madonna could do no wrong. This song, when this came out, this was an event. Everybody got excited.
Wasn't it a video released on MTV?
The video was a huge premiere, and it was kind of a rated R video. I was wrong about one thing. The video was not shot at Hotel 17. It was shot at some hotel in Paris. However, the Madonna sex book, those pictures were taken at the old Warhol factory, which is Hotel 17 near Union Square.
Yep.
Which was all happening at the same time. She was kind of dressed like this in the sex book. That's another story for another day. Anyway, the song is super interesting. I turned Jay onto this a couple years ago. He didn't know it. The song is written by Lenny Kravitz.
Yeah, I did not know that.
It is not.
I knew the sample.
No,
was
hold on.
Public Enemy. Okay.
Right, hold on. There's more. It's credited as written by Lenny Kravitz. And as Jay has alluded to, they use a Public Enemy sample.
Yep.
Or he uses a Public Enemy
The drum sample is Public Enemy.
Now, I'm not one to do a lot of gossip. I don't get into that stuff too much, but I read this and it was interesting. And it's Wikipedia, so I don't know, maybe it's true. The lyrics, and this is true, the lyrics are by Ingrid Chavez.
Oh.
Who was a Prince protege. And she's got some interesting tracks. I've got some Ingrid back here. I like Ingrid Chavez. She was in Graffiti Bridge. She has some songs on the soundtrack. And she did Elephant Box was a big track that she did. But anyway. So what happened was, after this track came out, where you got Madonna doing the spoken word Ingrid Chavez poem, and Lenny Kravitz doing the backing vocals, which is what Jay didn't know.
No, I didn't know that.
After that, shortly after that, Lenny Kravitz divorced Lisa Bonet. Their child, of course, is Zoe Kravitz, the actress.
Mm-hmm.
And so
did he hook up with Madonna?
The accusation, as far as I knew at the time, was Lenny's having an affair with Madonna. Lenny's like, I am not having an affair with Madonna. Lisa Bonet said, yes, you are. Goodbye. Well, interestingly enough, Wikipedia says the lyrics to Justify My Love is a poem that Ingrid wrote to Lenny during their affair.
Oh.
So that was the affair.
Oh.
Not Lenny and Madonna, Lenny and Ingrid Chavez.
Riddled with scandal.
Yeah. See, I'm doing like gossip, but that's interesting. To me, that's interesting. It's just a fantastic track. It's different. I'd never heard anything like it put together like that. There are so many elements in the song that they're beautiful. It's sexy. It's dark. It's unique.
It's a great track.
I dig it. I dig it a lot.
Yeah.
So that's my track. It doesn't really matter. What I showed you was the import. This is the domestic 12-inch. I have that too, from Sire. After that track, Erotica came out, and it was okay, but it didn't have the same vibe as everything before. So to me, Justify My Love is almost like the last great Madonna track. I saw the stride broken after that.
Now, can I give you my Justify My Love story that you will laugh, maybe
Sure.
cry, and be thrilled to hear?
I have one that I
Man
can't
enough to
tell,
admit
so I
this.
want to hear yours.
Well, this one I can tell.
Okay.
But after telling you where I've been today, it may only ruin my reputation. So I was working at Caldors at this time in Natick on Route 9. And one of the other managers with me said, hey, what are you doing after work? It was a Friday. And I said, oh, might get a drink at Bennigan's, cruise home, whatever. Hey, me and Joe are going to go to this place down the street. Do you want to come with us, get a drink? I'll buy. I'm like, sure. He was this like 6'3", 290-pound former Southern football player guy, but super nice. So we go to this place. We go in, we get a drink. Everything's cool. I'm looking around and I'm like, it's kind of weird. see a lot of women yet. Maybe it's early. And then I notice this song comes on, and I had never heard it before. So this would have been like 90. And all of a sudden, it comes on really loud. And the guy that I'm hanging out with and his friend who works at Caldors with me, they get up and they start dancing. And now I'm stuck at the bar, like sipping, going, what the hell's going on? And they come back and they decide to disclose to me that they are roommates because they're together. And am I okay with that? I'm like, I don't care. What was that song? Sounded like Madonna, but I haven't heard that. Oh, yeah, they play the best stuff here. It's all new. And that's the very first time I ever heard Madonna Justify My Love at a gay bar somewhere in Framingham or Natick.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Jay. This was the night that you dropped your wallet and you had to kick it all the way outside before you picked it up.
This was one of those. I don't have a cell phone because they don't exist yet. But if you could just give me a moment. No, it was the funniest thing. I was just like, yeah, I don't give a crap what you guys do. That's your life, not mine. I'm like, I'm trying to find women. Like, there's
that track. That track hit so hard. I mean, it came out and it came out like boom. It was played at all the clubs.
Yep.
If you hear it today, you're like, hey, that was a club track. Yes, that was a club.
Yeah, and the video premiere, like you say, was a really big deal.
The video was a big deal.
Like the Michael Jackson Thriller thing again. It was huge.
I wasn't a DJ, but I watched a club literally light up on that song. Like the entire dance floor packed, and I'm looking, going, "What the hell? This is a cool song, and the vibe is cool." And it was like I wanted to hear it played twice. Like it should have been longer,
right?
Not because of what was going on, but just the vibe was so good.
Absolutely amazing track. And I'm just happy that, at the time I was young, I was out and about in town.
Well, and you know what? I'm proud of you, Brian, for admitting coming out to a song. Wait, out how?
Out and about, not
out and about. I'm so sorry. The way you said I was out. I'm so sorry, Brian.
Well,
I've had a rough day. I was down St. Christopher Street today buying some chaps, and
I think
that's more than I should have said. I'm just saying.
In the closet.
Strange bars lately, too.
Yeah, I would get in the closet, John, but there is no closet here. I don't know if you've seen where I'm staying, but if everyone that hasn't seen me, that's my closet. It's the one that's open with the shirt. That's the closet.
Yeah.
That's the window. That's the TV. And that's the bed. So there is no closet to get into now.
Yeah.
Does anyone know if Paul Lynde is still around? I'm just, okay, whatever, Brian. What were you saying?
I was.
It almost sounded like Jay was twisting something, but he never does that.
No,
never.
It almost sounded that way.
Yeah. Doesn't usually happen. So what do you guys want to talk about this week?
I'm having a slow gin fizz. I mean, truly, well, same thing.
I've had quite a week, because I'm in crazy wedding planning mode for the event coming up on Saturday. I've spent so much time on this. It just has occupied entire days. I'll tell you all about it. Well, you'll see the gig log next week. Those of you who are watching this on DJN TV, you will, the gig
wedding Brian did last year.
Because this video isn't coming out until probably the first day of summer 2024, but it doesn't matter.
Happy Memorial Day, everyone.
Yes, happy Memorial Day.
Again.
Go Race fans, Indy.
Excited for the World Series 2024, everyone. Can't wait. Red Sox are going to beat the Yankees. Excited.
So I'm also doing a special event this week at Safe House. It's early in the day. And then next week I have 4 gigs, and that just doesn't happen in my world. I have 4 gigs.
That's cool, though.
It's cool. It happens if it's club stuff.
It's overdrive for you, but it's cool.
Well, 2 of the gigs are on the same day. So last night I did a contract for a plastic surgeon who's doing a customer appreciation party.
Yes.
They're doing one from noon to 2:30, and then they're doing one from 4:30 to 6.
Oh, it's not bad.
2.5 hour gigs with an hour and a half in between, and it's like 50 to 70 people. It's pretty simple stuff.
Background.
Well, I'm going to do that midweek.
Right.
Then club, then wedding. So I've got a lot going on.
That's a good thing.
More than I normally do, anyway.
Well, you have those weeks and you hope for those. I found out today I just booked October 20th. I'm already booked for a wedding on October 21st that I picked up last week.
Yeah.
And then I'm traveling to Boston on vacation, hopefully on the 23rd. So, it's not like it used to be. I'm the first to admit. Last year was slammed. Year before was really busy. 2020 was, catastrophic, but still did work. This year has been very slow. And I've talked to a lot of DJs who are like, yeah, it's not what it was. When you if you drill down to the core and they have to admit to you in person, hey, I noticed on Instagram, you said you have 7,000 weddings this year. Where are you really? I have like 30.
Yeah.
Like nobody's that busy this year. I think it's a very, very strange dynamic and things are coming last minute. Like I literally got a text saying, hey, we're going to hire you for the 20th. I just booked 3 events in December. Like literally booked 5 events in the span of 1 week. And I'm trying to get back to people. And it's like, oh, cool. Thank you. Here's your contract. Hey, cool. Here's this. I miss the old days. I miss the year and a half out. I miss the year out, the 9 months out, where you built a relationship. But this new generation doesn't need that. I used to meet with you at Starbucks and then move forward. And that's
having said that, Jay, and this is something that I'm just noticing more and more each year. And this year, I think very few weddings this year for me, very few, mostly other stuff. But I do have some, and I've noticed that they are just detail convoluted, crazy pageantry stuff, more so than ever, more so than ever. So maybe less is good, because if we were all doing weddings like this every week, I
it
think
would be a horror show.
It would, no fun at all.
What do you think that is, though, Brian? Is it an age thing, a generational thing? Because the same generation booked us last year and the year before.
Yeah.
What happened where people became so unreasonable about their expectations, about what they were? I mean, I've never once bought a $3,000 car and walked away and said, this should be like a Ferrari. Mm-hmm. No, you spent $3,000.
Right. You know what? You're onto something there. They want a lot, but they don't want to pay for a lot.
Right.
That's right.
Not what they should be paying. Now I'm doing okay on Saturday.
How do we educate them to understand you're asking for $5,000 worth of goods, but you're only willing to spend $1,000? Like what other industry? I went to a store tonight. I bought some stuff. They said, this is $8. This is $6. I didn't stop them and say, back at my grocery store, I can buy these for like $3 each. Then go there. Well, I could never say to a client, hey, it's $1,500. I thought it was worth $1,000. Then go find somebody. It's like the famous, I just talked to a DJ and he wants $1,200. You want $1,500. And the question is very simple. Then why didn't you hire him?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's either you want cube steak or you want prime rib. I mean, it's your choice.
But I think a lot of people, Eric, want prime rib, but they want to pay for cube steak. And the tragedy is
it's not going to work.
Back in the day, we used to get prime rib that cost cube steak. Now this new generation doesn't understand that's because that was then, this is now.
So what I wanted to get out, and I kind of forgot what that was, but what I was going to say is that, so
dementia is a terrible thing, ladies and gentlemen. If you can help this campaign to help Brian remember what he was going to say before he interrupted him,
happens.
Please do send
absolutely
dimes, pennies, whatever you have.
Won't you please help? Or we're going to play Sarah McLaughlin.
It happens. Sad music. Send money.
By.
I will remember you.
Go ahead, Brian. What do you got?
I don't remember.
Oh, for crying out loud! Keep it up.
I don't remember what I was going to say.
Jay
just took it like 5 steps.
I remember, so that we go back down to I remember.
Yeah,
I can do that. It's right on my phone. It'll take like not even a second to like pull up 2 buttons and bang. There's Dead Mouse. See, I told you.
Well, what I was going to say is, and I was thinking about this today. somebody had said something about how wedding clients treat DJs or something. I don't remember what it was.
They treat them
And
terribly.
and I had said, and this is true, because when I first started doing this 1,000 years ago, the DJ was the consolation prize if you just couldn't afford a band.
Right.
A DJ would come, and you didn't expect much. You know, they had some 45s and they play the music. And some ADHD person out there, oh, I'm going to do it like this. I'm going to do it like this. Cable management became this big thing. Oh, it's got to be perfect cable management. It's got to look like this, and it's got to be like this. It's got to be like that. The DJ thing has become such almost a realm for the perfectionist, it seems, when it comes to presentation and sound and lighting design. Mostly presentation, though. Most of these fools don't know much about music or sound or lighting design, but they want it to look right. And there's a younger generation out there. This is what I was going to say earlier, because you were talking about how they're becoming very convoluted and how it didn't used to be like this and all these things. There's a younger generation out there who's willing to put in the work. They're not tired like I am. They're willing to take the jobs and put in the work. The problem is they don't have the chops to handle the work the way it should be handled. I don't think
Brian,
they do.
I'm going to give you the answer that I came up with today in a discussion with about 9 DJs, a owner of a famous DJ shop, 2 representatives of a famous DJ lighting company.
Yeah.
And I said, you know what? I figured it out. And they said, what is that? I said, the difference now and then was then we had inexpensive gear because we spent so much money on music.
Mm-hmm.
And now people have expensive gear because they spend almost nothing. $20 a month gives you 1 million songs you can download
Sure.
on music.
Yeah.
So that the one thing that we're supposed to be great at,
We don't do anymore.
We're going to websites. I don't want to call anyone out, but we're going to websites where it's like, hey, how you doing? I'm a famous DJ from North Carolina. I'm a famous DJ from New Jersey. I'm a famous DJ from West Virginia. Check out what I play. Who the hell cares?
Yeah.
How about I play what fits my client and their audience? But music has become so demoralized, so devalued. I've got clients coming up who are like, yeah, I'm just going to send you a bunch of Spotify stuff. I'm going to send you a bunch. Do you know how important the music was at my wedding? Every single song was meticulous. Everything was, let's do this for this. Let's do that for that. Now it's like, hey, here's this like top whatever playlist. Just go with that. Does this represent you? Yeah, it's okay. We like it.
Right.
This isn't an office party.
How important the music is? Because if I start busting out Barry Manilow's Mandy and play it 8 times in a row, I can really change the dynamics of the night.
Okay, so that has not been my experience. The clients that I have, and maybe that's by design, maybe they know I'm a music geek, but my clients are really into something. Like they've got a thing that they like, and they've got strong opinions on what gets played at what time. So,
but they don't know the event.
Well, no, they're not bad choices, but they love music. It's not just a whatever kind of thing. They do love music. So that's the good news on my end.
Okay.
And, the bad news is it's just very convoluted planning. And the crazy part about it is, gentlemen, is that I am of the opinion, and here's my can of worms I'm opening up here. I am of the opinion that all the pageantry in the world, parading around a cake and a room and the dress and the colors and all of these things that we spend so much time with and spend so much money on mean nothing. No one cares.
Nope.
Am I wrong?
I've been married for 23 years to the love of my life. I've been with her for 30 years, which is amazing because I'm 23 years old. I just want to be clear about that.
Right.
And I look back on my wedding, and you know the greatest joy of my wedding? The greatest joy was that my mom and dad were still alive, that my aunt was still alive, that I got to have a great day with people I loved.
Yeah.
Musically, I probably had 10 songs that meant something to me. My First Dance, Father Daughter, Mother Son. The last dance of the night was Home Tonight by Aerosmith. It meant something to me. Outside of that, it was a moment in time that I'll never forget, but it didn't make who I am as a husband, as a father. It didn't at all. And I knew that going into it because I was a DJ that did weddings, and I watched people F up their day so badly by going, you got to play more Ramones. You're missing the point.
My experience.
You're so missing the point.
I've told this before recently, and I mean, the show probably hasn't aired yet, but there was a time when I was in my early 20s when I was working the same club I'm working right now.
Right.
And I was making about the same money working that club as I was doing mobiles for the multi-op. And I decided right then and there, you know what? I'm not doing mobiles anymore. I don't like them. I don't enjoy the wedding pageantry part of it. I love playing music for a wide variety of people, but at the time, the back-breaking, heavy tripods weighed 60 pounds back.
Yeah, they did.
Big, heavy
things were heavy.
Things.
Amps were heavy. Speakers.
So everything was heavy. Yeah. And then you got to do all this wedding stuff, which I don't want to do. Right. All this weird pageantry. I'm American. I don't like British are about pageantry. You know, you go over to England and they're doing a thing, and I don't do religious services.
It's not for everyone.
A lot of
it's not
things
for
you have to send up and sit down and, you know, jump to the left, jump to the right, cluck like a chicken, whatever you do. I don't do any of that stuff. I just want to play music for people. That's what I want to do. So, you know, it was an end to a mean. You know, I want to play music for people, so I got to do this other stuff so I can play music for people.
Right.
And how long does that really last? It's not a big deal. It's a grand entrance. It's a couple songs. Now,
you get through it.
Now it's the day. It's half the day.
It is.
Well, let's be blunt, Brian. I've been doing this since 1996. Right now, it is 2018. So you look at that time span. I don't know when this is going to air.
We don't know.
But the reality is, we used to be there to help people have an amazing day. I know a DJ right now in the Midwest who obviously has some insane clients, because what they've decided to do is have some sort of a Rocky Horror Picture Show balcony / viewing space with curtains dropping, who are going to come out and do their first dance, but then they're supposed to disappear like Peter Pan and come back for an entrance. Like, who the hell does that? It's
Is Dr. Frankenfurter going to be there?
I wonder. I wonder if the ghost of Meatloaf will ride his motorcycle out.
Maybe.
I'll tell you the exact same thing. Yeah. The exact same thing that the gentleman who contracted me to do this gig, I'll tell you the same thing I told him today. They're the nicest people in the world.
Sure they are.
Okay. The hall has the best intentions in the world, but they want a lot. And they want to try to make this stuff that it sounds cool, I guess, if you didn't know any better, but in practice, it's goofy. But we'll find out.
I think everyone will agree with me, Brian. Good intentions pave the way to hell.
I'm going to do my
quote Mr. Ozzy Osbourne.
To make this
quote Mr. Ozzy Osbourne.
As good as I can. It's going to be as good as I can. And after this weekend, it's behind me.
Good intentions pave the way to hell. The song is called Tonight. Look it up. Blizzard of Oz. No, I apologize. Diary of a Madman. You're welcome.
The pageantry is not the memory of the day. Riding up in a horse-drawn carriage, the colors, the flowers, that's all forgettable. It's the people and it's the music and it's the memory that we make.
Everybody in this room has been married or is married, and we will all tell you the truth. And the truth is this: your wedding should be a day where you celebrate the fact that you found someone you care so much about, you're willing to dedicate the rest of your life to them. The wedding was the greatest day I ever had until I had my first child.
For someone who's been doing this for almost 40 years.
I've been doing it for 70.
Okay. Well, actually, in October,
Well,
I've been a DJ for 40 years in October, but
60. Okay.
yeah, something like that. So for someone who's been doing this for as long as I have, I'm thinking to myself, you know,
Brian started it.
if there was one really amazing, like effect that happened or something, like a magic trick or a really cool entrance or some beautiful thing, maybe people would remember that. But if it's this constant barrage of magical, it's like a Michael Bay film. You can't make any sense of it anymore.
Right.
You don't know what's going on. It's just too much flash bang.
Someone's going to jump out of the cake next.
If one cool thing happens, I think people are going to remember it. If 75 cool things happen, it's all forgettable. Stop
you're
it
right.
so we can party.
You're 100% right.
It's just a
100%
thought.
right.
For someone who's seen this done many, many, many times. And I am the first to say that I don't have all the answers, and I'm willing to admit when I'm wrong. If I see something that I think, oh, wow, you know what? I never thought of that. I didn't think it was going to be cool, but it turned out to be very cool. I'll be the first to admit it. Because I'm big enough to do that.
Right. For those of you that use like a movie reference, this would be Brian is the Ali Sheedy character on Breakfast Club. Kind of quiet in the back, has an opinion, is probably right, and lets everyone else play out their drama, and then steps in and kind of sets them straight. And I'm not being mean or exaggerating. I'm being 100% freaking%.
Jay just thinks I'm weird. I know I'm
No, it's not being weird.
No, I'm weird. I know that.
Well, I mean, here's the ultimate question. How many weddings would you say you remember? Like moments at different weddings? Like, is it 10, 100, 1,000? I mean, I remember.
It's not a fair question because I have brain damage.
Okay, fine. Play that card. Okay, great. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, I
don't remember halls I played at, let alone the wedding I did.
Damage getting into bars. Okay,
have you ever played this hall? I don't remember. Oh, yeah, I guess I have. According to this, I have.
Talk about using the system.
Well, kids, it's been fun. and it's been, I won't say positive because it hasn't really been positive.
No, it has, because I think we've exposed the reality of what we're doing. And if nothing else, let people walk away and maybe work harder with new couples and say, you know what, let's go back to the old days of let's talk, let's communicate.
Yeah.
So I can be more involved in the experience, because it's becoming a little too petty. It's maybe too much on the surface and not enough internal, where I feel I'm actually giving you the experience you deserve.
Well, John,
that's my skill and talent.
I'll direct this question at you.
Say road dog? Okay, cool.
Yeah. I'll direct this question at you.
Sure.
Don't you, I don't know.
Eric,
you need to hire a service of any kind. You need someone to rebuild the motor on your car. Would you tell the mechanic how to do it, or would you let the mechanic do what the mechanic did? I'm asking this because we've all been DJs for a very long time. And do you feel like it's odd that a lot of our wedding clients have it all figured out and are not listening to our advice sometimes?
It can be frustrating if they don't want to listen. But, you know, our job is to make the day better and not always be a right fighter, even if we know how to do something better, smoother, cleaner.
I agree 100%.
Let them roll it into the wall and then say they need the front end fixed. Mm-hmm. Then maybe they'll ask, because you've done more than one. What do you think about this? When they ask me my opinion, then I'll provide something like, here's what I've seen, here's what I know. Here's how you could do this slightly differently, and let it be their decision. And then it's not me telling them how to do things.
How many times have you talked somebody off the ledge, Brian, by simply listening? Let them blow the steam off. Let them say, oh, I've got this. We saw this. We did this. Let them blow it all off and then start over and say, you know what? I heard everything you said. Sounds amazing. But here's reality. Oh shit, we never thought of that. Oh wow, we didn't consider that.
I do
And
really
then
well
you
with anyone
become
who
the guide. You're the guide on the bus when they
I
get
do
on.
really
They
well
say,
with that. And
I
unless
want to go to here. I want to go to here. I want to go to here. I want to go here. And you go, you know what, guys? Why don't you sit down, kick back, relax. Let me show you what this really is.
I do really well with that, unless the person I'm talking to is referring to themselves as bride anytime soon. I can reason with reasonable people. I don't feel like brides are always the most rational human beings in the world.
They're not, but it's emotional.
Yeah,
it's something that, as a DJ, I'm going to be blunt, and this is not a slam on you or anyone else. If you want to DJ weddings, guess what? There's a point where you, including me, believe it or not, it actually has happened. You got to shut up and listen. And then you have to give what is better advice than they will ever get anywhere else, because there's no website, there's no article, there's no magazine, there's no paper, there's nothing that can do real world advice like a great DJ who has experienced every single thing that could ever happen at a wedding. And you can guide them to the day that they actually want.
So, Eric, before we wrap the show, what do you say?
Road Dog.
I'm not Road Dog, but
Doesn't matter.
I got confused. I apologize.
that's all right. You know
I'm
what?
in the city, kid. New York Minute. You know what that is? The time between a green light and the horn honking. Come on.
It's anarchy when Granddad isn't here. We just do stuff.
Yeah, where is he? Oh, he's sick. That's right.
Guys all said, babe.
I went on a bike ride one time with somebody then.
Eric froze. Eric's back.
All right, we're
Hi,
out of
Eric.
time.
He's back.
Am I froze? Yeah.
No, you're good now.
I can see you now.
Good.
All right. You guys all basically, you were all on the same page with this. I mean, you can't teach a new dog old tricks, basically. And I'm turning that whole thing around because we're the old dogs. We know the old tricks. These are the new people. They want new tricks.
We got that.
You know what I mean? It's
That's fair. Yeah.
It's
But Eric, you know what to do. You've done 1,000 weddings. You know exactly what they need. You just got to convince them that you know more than they do. And you
Get a
gotta do
groomsman
it
dancing on the
slowly.
speaker. That's a good wedding.
I've got to convince them that this ain't Burger King, baby. You're not getting it your way, okay?
Oh, Jesus. Oh, here we go. Welcome to Lowell.
Did we get trademarked on that?
Welcome to Lowell.
All right, you're going to do it this way. You got
Yeah,
me.
I'm getting my suit of
ask 'em why.
McQuaid's.
Ask them why sometimes. Like, we want to parachute into the field. Like, why? Why is that important to you? Why? What makes sense of that? But, you know,
Ryan's been
ask
doing this
why.
40 years.
You want Dickie Eklund to be there? I'll make that happen.
What do you need, huh? You talk to me. I'll get it done. All right?
I killed a young man one time with a nightstick in a parking lot near a wedding because he wouldn't get in the processional. Come on.
You want to
Third in
ruin
line.
your wedding? You want to ruin your wedding? I'll help you do it. All right? Let's go.
I got a Corner Gang song that would totally work for this for the Mother Son dance.
It's called Celebration. You never heard it before. Brand new.
Make
What do you
sure I
want?
get
You want
Cluster
Mother
next
Son?
week.
I got Between the
This week.
Sheets by the Isley Brothers. Let's go.
Make sure I get the check before I ruin this shit. Let's go. All right?
All right, kids, we're going to put a
If
fork
I
in
don't
it.
get an ashtray
I'm going
on
to
my DJ
stop Jay
stand,
while
I'm
we
out.
can. Manhattan, cut this man off.